I think that the purpose of the challenge is to give people the chance to find a way of being there rather than getting there. You know, the idea that what you're doing today is important today, and it's important for what you're doing down the road. You're looking at like, is what I'm going to do today, is it only going to have effect on how I feel tomorrow, or is it going to have a real positive effect on how I feel 10 years from now? Am I building up habits that are building my health and fitness and my well-being for the foreseeable future?
Well, and I think, I mean, the way I think about that is if I think, what am I going to do now for 10 years from now, I get short-circuited. But if I think, is the step I'm taking today going to have a positive impact in my life after the challenge ends? And is it small enough to sustain it after the challenge ends? That's how then it's a good thing for me to take on.
Right.
And that's the idea with the whole life challenge, is that you're not trying to
get as fit as possible in 8 weeks.
Right. Or get as nutritious as possible, or as, lose as much weight as possible.
Right.
Can this habit or this thing that I'm doing, can I keep doing it?
Right. You're not looking for that kind of peak that happens at the end of the 8 weeks, and all of a sudden you can't sustain the momentum that you've built up because it's so intense. It's so intense with the focus on the food. It's so intense on the focus of the exercise. It's so intense on losing as many pounds as possible. I mean,
there's 7 habits. I mean, how many can you be intense on at one time?
I mean, having done this challenge now as many times as we have, I now have a very different relationship with these things than I did when we first started. I mean, the way I eat now, I actually was sitting at dinner once and I said, I wonder if this is what it's going to look like when I'm 50. Like, am I still going to sit down and make dinner every night? And there was no real reason to think that I wouldn't. It had become so much an ingrained part of my day and I look at that with such appreciation that that's a habit that I've built for myself that I'll be able to teach my children.
Well, and that's really the point. The point of the challenge, and the thing that makes it different is although it's an 8-week committed event, and although we use points, and although there is competition, those elements are way less important than can I sustain this piece in my life long term?
Yeah.
And like, if the answer is no, if the answer is like, this is just hard and I can't wait to be done, to go back to the life I had pre-challenge, you probably bit off too much.
You're pushing it too hard.
Right. And that is what most challenges would ask you to do.
Well, here's the really cool thing about the points then. You can actually say, okay, now I can look at the points and I can see this is what that accomplishment feels like. Like, I can now look at my points and go, it's perfect, and I hate it. So what's going to be the thing that, and then you can try something else. The points are really a representation of what your choices looked like over a period of time. Yeah. And you can assess, is this working? Okay, great, this is working. And this is what this looks like. I don't get a perfect score in nutrition every day, but overall, I'm pretty well focused on it. I might not exercise every day, but overall, I'm actually maintaining a really sustainable pattern. It really is using those points and using the competition for the useful way of keeping you on track and giving you something that's going to help you understand what your choices looked like and how they made you feel.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that is really the essence of the game and the challenge that is so different from what you find elsewhere in the world of health and well-being and challenges and, like The Biggest Loser. I love the show The Biggest Loser. It's great. It's fantastic. And the changes are dramatic and remarkable. But there's a reason that most of those people go back to the life and the body that they had before, that they don't sustain the change. And it's a catch-22 because we're, a lot of us that take on challenges in our life are type A, aggressive, we want to win, we get excited, we get motivated. New Year's resolution comes around and it's time to make these changes, and you're great for 4 weeks or 3 weeks or 6 weeks or maybe even 8 weeks. But it ends.
And it often just becomes too much.
And then you go back, I can't keep doing this. Right. I can't keep getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to make sure I get my hour of workout in because I'm not sleeping, or I'm...
Exactly. And this is about helping you find that middle ground, like finding your way out of all or nothing to somewhere in the middle where you can still, no matter what's happening, maintain some kind of conscientious choice-making about your health and fitness. You know, and when we say, and I think that's really critical when you're talking about long-term thinking, because sometimes the smallest action, getting 20 extra minutes of sleep one night, or not eating the candy bar after dinner or something, is not going to make a difference today. But that kind of habit forming is really what you're looking for, something that's going to make a difference over time. If you built it into your life, 20 extra minutes for the next couple months, 30 extra minutes after that, rather than thinking, I need the result today.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's really what short-term versus long-term thinking is about. It's about making choices that aren't necessarily going to have a direct effect today. Getting an extra 10 or 20 minutes of sleep, not eating the candy bar for a snack, is not going to help you lose weight or help today.
The result won't happen today.
Right, you're not going to feel perfect today because you slept an extra 20 minutes. But if you start putting your attention on making those kinds of choices, you're really going to start to see that effect build up in your life over the long term.
5 years from now, 10 years from now, like who knows when.
And by the time you see it, it's going to be a part. Those choices are going to be a part of who you are.
Well, I think on the flip side is it's the thing that keeps us from stopping doing the things that we know are bad, because we don't see the impact immediately.
Right.
We don't see the impact of eating that bowl of ice cream 3 days a week. That tonight, we don't see it tonight.
Right.
We might feel it tonight, but we don't even see it next week. We don't even see it next month. It takes like 3 years, and then all of a sudden you've got a roll around your waist that you don't know where it came from.
Right.
Well, maybe it came from that ice cream that
Right.
is built into your your life.
The kinds of results that you get are always going to be really long-term, whether they're good results or bad results. They're based on the daily things that you do.
Absolutely.
So why not take those small daily actions that eat that, like the healthy version of eat that bowl of ice cream every day, but rather have it be ice cream, have it be take a walk, and really see what that gets you over the long
I mean,
term.
you could say an improvement would be eat a bowl of ice cream once a week, or eat one scoop instead of a bowl,
Right.
Or
Or
go to Baskin Robbins instead of keeping it in your house,
Or
like
really go. You know what I really want to do after dinner is eat a bowl of ice cream. Let me see what happens if I take a walk first.
do I still feel like
Do I
eating
still
a bowl
feel
of ice
like
cream?
eating a bowl of ice cream?
Right.
You know, there are so many choices you can
The
make.
answer for me would be yes, but
You haven't tried it. You've never once tried that.
You're right. I haven't. I feel resistance.
But the difference can really be profound. If that's the action you take every time you wanted to do something you knew was questionable, let me see what happens if I take a walk around the block first.
Right.
And you're not going to feel it today, but you will feel it over time.
Right. That's cool.